All right, hi everybody. Today we're going to be working on lesson 3, which is multiplying fractions using a tape diagram. First things first, let's go ahead over to vocabulary, and these are going to be two very simple ones because this takes us all the way back to the beginning of 3rd grade. Okay, something that we're going to need to know is repeated addition, which is adding the same value to find a sum, such as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. 5, 10, 15, 20 by our multiple count. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20. In order to write that, we use multiplication now that we're big kids. And we used to know it as rows and columns. And then later on, we talked about groups in a set. So here I have how many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 groups of, and remember, groups of is what our multiplication symbol speaks about. So we have 4 groups of 5. And again, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So 4 groups of 5 is 20, or 4 times 5 is 20. So we have the foundation here for whole numbers, repeated addition, multiplication. What you may not have realized is that we have been doing repeated addition with our fractions. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first candy bar. I can see that from here to here, so this entire tape diagram is partitioned into 4 equal parts, and they have a total value of 1 whole. Okay, so if I were going to think about how I would write this, I would take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4 as my whole. So I know that 4 would be my denominator. That's the number of pieces in the whole. And then I want to take a look at the number of shaded. So I have 1, 2, 3 equal parts that are shaded. Okay, so now we've been showing that as repeated addition. So we have been talking about how this is 1/3, this is 1/3. Oh, pardon me. Got carried away with myself. This is 1/4. This is 1/4. And this is 1/4. Okay, so it's a common mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and write this as repeated addition. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Okay, and you're probably sick of seeing the unit fractions because I'm kind of sick of seeing them too. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take it up a notch, and we are going to start writing them as a multiplication sentence instead of 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4, or 2/4 and 1/4. So we're just going to look at, what is our unit fraction here? Well, we know, even though this one's not shaded, each piece is worth how much? Is worth 1/4. Okay, so we have 1/4. And how many groups of 1/4 are shaded? Okay, so if we think about up here, we had 4 groups with 5 in each. Well, down here, how many groups are shaded? 3 groups. 3, and what says groups of? Yes, our multiplication symbol says groups of always. There we go. So 3 groups of 1/4 shows the fraction 3/4. Okay, so we're going to go on, and we're going to go on to the next one. So we took it from repeated addition to multiplication. I'm going to flip over, and we're going to look at this pink guy up there. So take a minute, and I want you to notice, check out the whole, and what would our denominator, so how many equal pieces in the whole? Okay, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so I don't mess up, I'm going to go ahead and put my unit fractions in the shaded to begin with. So if I were doing the addition portion, I would say, well, I have a total of 2 out of 5 that are shaded, and the unit fractions are 1/5 plus 1/5. Okay, so my unit fraction is 1/5. How many groups of 1/5 do we have? And again, you should be shouting at your screen right now. We see 2 shaded, 1, 2 groups of 1/5. which gives us 2/5. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Let's look at our blue tape diagram. It represents 1 whole. How many equal parts are there? Should say 6, correct. So what is the unit fraction for each part? You should say 1/6. But instead of writing that over and over and over and over and over again, let's make sure I didn't mess up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Knowing that it's worth 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can say 5/6 is equal to how many groups of 1/6? Like, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 1/6. And now I just saved you all kind of time writing that out. Okay. All right. So before you think you know everything, let's go down to the last one and let's look at our lime green. And now I'm trying to trick you. Okay. So let's check out what our whole looks like. So I'm going to use secondary color. And I'm going to block off my tape diagram to show how many equal pieces are in one whole. Okay, this is where kids get messed up. Even 5th graders mess this up sometimes. All right, so how many equal pieces are in one whole? Okay, and you should be saying 3. Okay, so what is the unit fraction of one piece of this whole? Unit fraction is always 1 out of the total, so it'll be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, that's 3/3. Okay, and then we have this one other piece over here. Okay, and that's a unit fraction as well. So what is that going to be worth? And you guessed it, hopefully 1/3. Okay, so now I'm going to say 1/3 plus 1/3 plus. Aren't you glad I'm writing this and you're not 1/3 and 1/3? And for me, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The sum is 4. 4/3. Okay. All right. So the other easy way to write this, and it's much easier, is taking 4/3 and saying blank groups of 1/3. How many groups do we have, friends? 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 1/3. Okay. And that is our lesson for today.